Many sincere people come to spirituality for good reasons. They are tired. They are searching. They want peace, healing, clarity, freedom. And very often, without realizing it, they bring the same mindset they learned in the world into their spiritual life. How can this help me? How can this fix my situation? How can this improve my circumstances? There's no judgment in that. It's natural. But here is the quiet truth. True spiritual realization is not the improvement of the human condition. It is the transcendence of the framework that defines the human condition altogether. This is where the great misunderstanding happens. Spiritual awakening is not about gaining something in the world. It's about awakening from the world's assumptions. Not abandoning life, but seeing it from a completely different basis. Most people carry an inherited idea of the divine that was given to them before they ever had a chance to question it. A distant power, a higher authority, a cosmic overseer who rewards, withholds, approves, or disapproves. But when we look deeper, when we set aside tradition and theology and begin to observe, a very different picture emerges. What reveals itself is not a being among beings, but infinite intelligence itself. Formless, omnipresent, self-sustaining, effortless. This intelligence is not separate from creation. It is the creative principle expressing as creation. Look at nature. Life unfolds without strain. Order emerges without management. Growth happens without anxiety. Creation does not worry about its supply. It does not rush. It does not strive. The moment we stop thinking about the divine and begin noticing awareness itself, something shifts. The divine is no longer an object we try to reach. It is recognized as the awareness through which we see, feel, and know. This is also where many seekers unknowingly block realization. They attempt to use spirit to enhance personal goals. More success, more security, more control, more outcomes. This is sometimes called spiritual materialism, using higher language to serve the same old fears. But spiritual consciousness does not operate as a tool for personal will. It does not submit to effort. It does not respond to pressure. It cannot be manipulated. This teaching does not condemn abundance or harmony. It simply dissolves dependence on conditions for fulfillment. What you cling to for security becomes the very thing that obscures truth. And the deeper the attachment, the subtler the blindness. There is a phrase that appears again and again in this path: die daily. This is not about physical death. It is not about suffering. It's not even about denying life. It's about the death of material sense of identity. Each day, consciousness is invited to release the belief that life is external, to release the belief that power is outside, to release the belief that safety comes from conditions. This is the renewing of the mind. Not positive thinking, not mental force, but the quiet falling away of old structures of perception. This process can feel uncomfortable, not because something is wrong, but because identity itself is loosening. The mind interprets this as loss. But what follows is not loss. It is rest. When the false burden of personal authorship drops away, life begins to move with a different ease. One of the most radical insights on this path is the true nature of prayer. Prayer is not a human mind reaching towards infinite intelligence. That is why so many words feel empty, why repetition without realization produces no transformation. True prayer is receptive. It's receptivity. It is the state in which the personal mind grows quiet enough for the word to speak itself within. Human words describe. The word creates. Human effort attempts. The word is. Stillness is not a technique. It is not something you do to get something. It is availability. When thought subsides, guidance arises naturally. When striving ends, clarity appears. When the personal voice grows quiet, the deeper knowing speaks. The word does not respond to effort, it responds to openness. Here we encounter a subtle paradox that challenges even devoted seekers. The spiritual universe is not the human universe cleaned up. It is not the absence of error while preserving human good. It is the absence of the entire human framework, both good and bad. Human good still belongs to comparison. Human good still rises and falls. Human good still depends on conditions. Spiritual consciousness transcends all of it. The kingdom is not improved circumstances, it is a different basis of awareness altogether. And when this awareness dawns, harmony expresses itself naturally, without manipulation. This path does not demand blind belief. In fact, honest doubt is often a sign of integrity. Questioning inherited assumptions is not rebellion, it's awakening. Pretending faith while suppressing uncertainty leads to inner division. Facing doubt honestly leads to depth, clarity, and lived understanding. Problems are not avoided on this path. They are not denied. They are worked out of, not through force, but through revelation. We do not solve problems inside the same state that produced them. We outgrow them. When consciousness shifts, problems dissolve, not because they were fault, but because the state that sustained them no longer exists. The Christ experience is not a historical achievement reserved for another time. It is a present reality. It is the realization of spiritual identity here and now. When consciousness becomes receptive, when the personal will relaxes, when stillness becomes familiar, the kingdom reveals itself within. Not as emotion, not as spectacle, but as quiet authority, inner guidance, natural right action. Nothing is forced, nothing is dramatized. Life begins to move, not to you, not by you, but through you. This path is not about becoming better. It is about becoming still enough to notice what already is. When the human voice grows quiet, the word speaks. And when the word speaks, life reorganizes itself effortlessly, intelligently, and in perfect order. Remain available. That is enough.